Alright folks, hold on to your baseball caps because this is the bombshell that's about to shatter the entire MLB offseason into a million pieces. Imagine this. A single leaked report hits the wires, a clandestine meeting in some shadowy New York hotel room, and suddenly Kyle Tucker, the Astros' golden boy, the five-tool phenom who's redefined power and defense, is eyeballing a jaw-dropping short-term IAV deal from the New York Mets worth $50 million per season. $50 million. That's not just a paycheck. That's a nuclear warhead launched straight into the heart of free agency. And let me tell you, the league is losing its mind over this. Front offices are in chaos, fans are rioting in the streets, metaphorically of course, and executives are scrambling like rats on a sinking ship. Is this the Mets' desperate Hail Mary to snatch a superstar before the Dodgers swoop in? Or is there a sinister conspiracy unfolding, a master plan to rig the market and tilt the competitive balance forever? Buckle up because we're breaking this down step by step, and by the end, you'll be questioning everything you thought you knew about baseball's power players. Let's dive in. This story is about to explode. First things first, let's set the scene and ramp up the tension because if you're not feeling the outrage yet, you will be in about 10 seconds. The Mets kicked this off with a 3-year, $120 million offer. Not bad, right? Solid, respectable, the kind of deal that gets you a nice steak dinner. But now, the latest reports are flooding in like a tidal wave. They've escalated to a short-term IAV at $50 million a year, and word on the street is they're having good conversations with Tucker. Good conversations? That's code for, we're not afraid to throw more money at this guy if we have to. Why the frenzy? Because Kyle Tucker isn't just any outfielder. He's the crown jewel of the free agent class, a guy who's got teams salivating. And the public reaction? Oh, it's volcanic. Mets fans who just endured a soul-crushing 101-loss season are torn ecstatic at the prospect of instant contention, but furious that this could be a one-and-done gamble. Astros fans? Heartbroken, devastated, wondering if their franchise cornerstone is about to bolt for the bright lights of New York. Dodgers supporters? Paranoid, pacing their living rooms, convinced the Mets are stealing their thunder. And the media? They're calling it reckless, outrageous, a sign of the apocalypse. People are furious because this isn't just a signing. It's a seismic shift that's got the baseball world erupting in shockwaves. Imagine the headlines, Mets go all in on Tucker. Is this the end of parody? It's got everyone talking, debating, and losing sleep. Why so strong? Because in an era of tanking and rebuilding, this screams cheat code. A shortcut to glory that could leave half the league in the dust. Now, let's peel back the layers and get some background on the key players here, because understanding the cast is crucial to unraveling this drama. Kyle Tucker, the 28-year-old sensation from the Houston Astros, is no ordinary outfielder. Born in Tampa, Florida, drafted by Houston in 2015, he's blossomed into a five-tool superstar who redefined right field in Minute Maid Park. We're talking elite defense. He won a Gold Glove in 2022 with that rocket arm that turns singles into outs and keeps runners honest. Offensively? A power hitter with 30-plus home run seasons, speed for 20-plus stolen bases, and a batting eye that's elite. But last year? Injuries wrecked him. He battled through a rough campaign, slashing just .222/.297/.406 with 20 homers in only 99 games. Not his vintage, but hey, health is a fickle mistress in this game. The Mets? The New York Mets, a franchise steeped in glory and heartbreak. From the miracle Mets of '69 to the dark days of the Wilpons ownership, they've swung for the fences and struck out more times than we'd like to admit. Under new billionaire owner Steve Cohen, who's injected cash like a steroid shot, they've revamped with a front office led by Billy Epler, the ex-Angels GM known for bold moves. Their roster? A Frankenstein's monster of aging vets like Francisco Lindor and Pete Alonso, mixed with high-upside prospects. They're desperate to rebound after tanking, and Tucker could be their missing piece. The Dodgers? The eternal contenders, the Hollywood heavyweights with a payroll that's already flirting with the stratosphere. Led by the brilliant Andrew Friedman, they've built a dynasty on analytics and star power. And the Blue Jays? The Toronto Blue Jays, the underdogs turned contenders, willing to throw 8 to 11 years at Tucker. But are they the only ones brave enough for long-term commitment? This background sets the stage for a clash of titans, where Tucker's future hangs in the balance. Alright, here's where we crank up the intrigue and dive into the conspiracy angle because this isn't just a bidding war, it's strategic manipulation on a league-wide scale, and I smell a rat. Or maybe a whole pack of them. Why would the Mets, a team that's been rebuilding for years, offer a short-term deal when everyone knows Tucker could command a monster long-term pact from the Blue Jays? Let me break this down for you. It's genius, it's suspicious, and it's part of a bigger plan to destabilize the market. The Mets aren't fools, they're chess masters. With whispers of a potential lockout on the horizon, owners clamoring for a salary cap or floor to rein in spending, the Mets know they can't afford to lock in big money long-term if the CBA gets gutted. A short-term IAV with opt-outs after every year? That's Tucker's escape hatch, his parachute to bail if the league implodes. And get this bombshell. Tucker was hit with a qualifying offer by the Astros last year, meaning any team signing him long-term forfeits precious draft picks and international bonus pool money. But if he takes short-term? He re-enters the market at 30, free and clear, no strings attached, no baggage. The Mets are positioning themselves as the smart, flexible option, but is this a low-ball ploy while the Dodgers lurk in the shadows like predators? The Dodgers don't want long-term commitments. Their CBA penalties for contracts over $34 million are a killer, slapping a 110% surcharge that turns $50 million into over $100 million in real costs. They're already maxed out, so they're playing the long game, letting the Mets and Jays bleed each other dry, then swooping in with a short-term offer to avoid tying up their future in an aging star. Smells like a setup, doesn't it? A calculated chess move to keep their dynasty rolling without overcommitting. And what about the revenue whispers? Forbes lists the Dodgers at $752 million in revenue with a paltry $21 million operating income. Who's cooking the books here? As a private entity, they don't have to show everything, but rumors swirl that their numbers are inflated to justify this spending spree. Is this part of a broader conspiracy to manipulate perceptions, to make teams like the Marlins, with their $38 million operating income, look like paupers while the big boys hoard talent? You tell me, is this fair play or a rigged game where the rich get richer? Let's crank up the comparisons and see how this stacks up against the league's dark history of signings, because patterns don't lie, and this one's screaming déjà vu. Remember the big boys who locked in those 8 to 10-year deals? Shohei Ohtani at $70 million AAV, but with deferrals making it present-day $44 million. Juan Soto at $51, Aaron Judge at $40, Bryce Harper at $36, and the rest hovering in the $25 to $35 million range. Tucker wants to hit that sweet spot, somewhere between $25 and $45 million. But to do it, he needs a bounce-back year or a team reckless enough to gamble. The Mets' short-term play mirrors what the Dodgers did with Freddie Freeman. A short deal that blossomed into a long-term romance, turning LA into a powerhouse. But the Dodgers? They're the masters of waiting, like Dennis Rodman rebounding on the boards, lowballing stars then reeling them in. They've done this before. Think of how they snagged Clayton Kershaw or Corey Seager with deals that started short and grew. And the Jays? Reckless spenders, but are they the anomaly in a league afraid of long-term risk? This bidding war echoes the 2019 free agency circus, where teams like the Phillies overpaid for Harper and Machado, only to watch them decline amid injuries and underperformance. Is Tucker next in line for that fate, or is he the exception, the guy who bucks the trend and stays elite? Rhetorical question time. If past is prologue, is Tucker signing his own decline by chasing short-term cash, or is this his ticket to immortality? The league's patterns show teams getting burned on long-term bets, but short-term? That's the new frontier, and Tucker's at the center of it. Now, let's dissect the roster fit analysis, because this is where the rubber meets the road, and the drama hits fever pitch. For the Mets, Tucker would plug a gaping hole in their outfield, where they've got a motley crew of veterans like Brandon Nimmo, aging but still productive, and prospects like Francisco Alvarez itching to shine. Depth chart? Nimmo at center, Tucker in right, and maybe a kid like Mark Vientos in left. But salary dynamics? Steve Cohen's got the wallet, but with a potential cap looming, their 1 through 26 depth could crumble if they can't add talent cheaply. Opt-outs are non-negotiable. If Tucker doesn't have yearly escapes, he's trapped in a rebuilding project that might not pan out. Development concerns? The Mets' farm system is improving, but injuries could derail everything. For the Dodgers, it's a match made in heaven. Their outfield ranked dead last in WAR last year at 18th out of 30, with Andy Pages carrying 4.1 of their 4.3 total, unsustainable. Tucker slots in seamlessly, batting 5th behind Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, and Will Smith. Protection? Unmatched, pitchers will be gun-shy, feeding him fat pitches. Depth? Their system is stacked with guys like Gavin Lux and Jason Hayward as backups. Salary? They're already over the tax threshold, so short-term fits their model. But long-term? They'd have to commit to an older roster, freeing up options for younger stars. Big-picture roster implications? This could force the Mets to trade prospects or cut costs elsewhere, while the Dodgers solidify their dominance. Is this fair? Rhetorical question. Are we witnessing the birth of a new super team, or just smart roster engineering? Time for the scouting breakdown because numbers don't lie and Tucker's profile is a roller coaster. Strengths: elite defense, Gold Glove winner with a cannon arm that gunned down 20% of base runners last year. Plus raw power, career-high 35 HR in 2022. Speed, 20-plus SB in healthy seasons. And plate discipline, 10-plus BB% when on. Weaknesses: durability, that injury-plagued 2023 exposed cracks, with his average dipping to .222 and WAR dropping to 2.1. Stats context: in his prime he's a 4 to 5 WAR guy, projecting 30 HR, .280/.350/.500/. But at 30 next year re-entering free agency without the QO? That's a game changer. He could hit the jackpot, commanding 40+ million long-term. Comps: think a younger Aaron Judge with better defense, or Mookie Betts with more pop. Projections: if healthy he's a perennial all-star, if not, regression looms. For the Mets he's a short-term savior, for the Dodgers a lineup anchor. But bet on himself? That's the ultimate gamble. Stay in Houston, prove the doubters wrong and cash in big. Here's the crazy part. People say he's apathetic with Rand 1 vibes, but insiders whisper he loves the game. You don't perform like that without passion. What do you think? Is Tucker worth the risk, or is his down year a red flag? League-wide reaction? Oh, it's absolute pandemonium, folks. Rival teams and fans are losing their minds in spectacular fashion. Yankees fans are apoplectic, screaming about competitive imbalance as their crosstown rivals get juiced. Astros diehards are heartbroken, flooding social media with, "Don't go KT, please." Dodgers supporters? Paranoid conspiracy theorists, convinced the Mets are sabotaging their plans. Media? ESPN's calling it reckless spending, while Bleacher Report headlines scream, Tucker deal could spark CBA war. Executives are tight-lipped, but whispers from front offices say the Phillies and Padres are scrambling to counter, fearing a super team arms race. Rival teams like the Braves and Guardians are furious, watching their parody dreams evaporate. Fan outrage? It's everywhere, Reddit threads exploding, TikTok rants going viral. One exec quipped anonymously, "This sets a dangerous precedent, short-term IAVs will flood the market." People are furious because this isn't just a signing. It's a power grab that could leave mid-tier teams like the Pirates or Royals in the dust forever. Rhetorical question: is the league ready for this chaos, or is it the tipping point to revolution? Zooming out to the big picture implications, because this deal isn't just about Tucker. It's about the soul of MLB. For the season, Mets could contend immediately, vaulting to the NL East throne. Dodgers dominate longer, cementing their dynasty. Free agency? Tucker sets the precedent for short-term IAVs, letting stars retest markets without QO baggage, flooding the offseason with volatility. Competitive balance? Goodbye parity, super teams like LA and New York get stronger while small markets starve. CBA changes? This could ignite a lockout, pushing for caps and floors that cripple spenders. The league's future? A world where strategic short-term deals rule, but at what cost? Rhetorical question: are we heading toward a two-tier league, or a new era of innovation? This is game-changing, folks. It could redefine how teams build rosters for generations. So what do you think, fam? Is Kyle Tucker betting on himself with the Mets' short-term lure, or cashing in with the Dodgers' long-term vision? Does this scream conspiracy, a rigged market where the elite manipulate the masses, or is it just smart business in a cutthroat sport? Drop your hot takes in the comments below. Is Tucker worth $50 million short-term, or should he hold out for the big long-term payday? Should the league cap this madness or let the free market run wild? Like, subscribe, smash that bell, and let's keep breaking down the madness together. This offseason just got epic. Stay tuned because the next bombshell is coming.